Hey, thanks so much for joining us today. We're going to be learning about how to create AI images using Midjourney to use in Squarespace web design. I'm so excited for this. I'm Christy Price. I'm a Squarespace expert and educator. And if you are new here, welcome to the channel. If you're a Squarespace user and you don't have my Squarespace pre-launch checklist, I'm going to drop that into the chat and you can grab it. It's everything you need to do to make sure your website is launch ready, or if you've already launched, make sure you didn't forget anything. So I've been using AI in different ways in my business, but I haven't yet used it to create images for client websites. So today I'm really excited to have my friend Diane Whitten joining me. Diane is the founder of Sway Rise Creative, and she specializes in helping women professionals break free from the one-to-one service model and establish themselves as sought-after authorities in their industries. Before we have you share your screen, Diane, thanks so much for being here.
Thank
And
you. I'm
I'd
so
love it.
excited.
Me too. I'd love it if you could share a little more about who you work with in your agency, what you do, and then how you're using Midjourney and Squarespace in your work.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I primarily work with women coaches, so authors, speakers, content creators, course creators, people like that. And I usually work with them to help them transition to a bigger audience. So they've already got, some success. They're doing some great things, but they're getting ready for their big book launch, or maybe they've got a TEDx talk or something. And I help them create a better website that more reflects that sort of thought leadership status, and then all the graphics and everything that they're going to need to go along with that, because of course you and I both know it's more than the website. It takes a lot to up level your brand, and that's a lot of what we're going to talk about today. Because when I started to learn what Midjourney could help you do, I was just blown away by the capabilities of it. So it's going to be a fun talk.
I'm really excited about it. And I think, one of the struggles that we all face as web designers is we're working with a client, they've got maybe 2 or 3 good headshots or images, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so I'm really, really curious to see how you're using Midjourney to basically create a suite of elements to use, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Because that's the thing. We're always really limited as web designers. I mean, we all know it doesn't matter really how good you are at web design. There's just only so much you can do if the photos are not great.
Right.
So much depends on the quality of the photos. And a client can come to you with like a really awesome, amazing photo shoot, and you can create something gorgeous with a really simple site. And then, of course, the opposite is also true, that if you don't have good images, it doesn't matter what kind of magic you work. It's visually, it's just not going to be as striking. And so this ability now with AI, like what we're able to do with Midjourney and chat now, their image creator just came out last week, and things like that. We've got a lot more control over the images that we can put together for clients. And so you're not relying on the same old stock images that we've all seen a million times. And,
Yes.
you
Oh,
can
the
create
hands on the keyboard with like the yellow sweater. I see her everywhere. She's
right.
famous.
Right. Exactly right. So this gives us a way to create images that fit our clients better, that fit their demographic better. And then, we can also support them in creating social media images and cover photos and things like that. So that's
Even
all the stuff.
beyond the website. I
Yeah.
love that. Well, if you're joining us live today and you're new here, I'm Christy Price. This is Diane Whitten, and Diane is going to show us how she uses Midjourney to create images to help out in her web design business. So if you're here live, we would love for you to drop in a comment. Are you a Squarespace designer? Are you a DIYer? Are you just interested in creating images with Midjourney? We'd love to know like what your background is and what you're interested in learning today. So feel free to drop that in the comments. And Diane, do you want to go ahead and share your screen?
Yeah.
And I'll hop over to the side. And then if you see my face pop back, it means I've got a question or I'm going to highlight something from the chat. So I'll be off to the side for a bit.
Awesome. That sounds great. And I'm happy to answer questions as we go. So if you have questions, or if anybody in the chat has questions, please feel free to stop me and shout them out. I have slides for us, and I have like a whole presentation that I'll walk us through, but I'm also happy to move into Midjourney, and like we can do some stuff live. So feel free to
Oh,
jump in.
amazing. I would love to see some live examples if we have time. So
Yeah.
yeah, All right, take it away.
Awesome. Okay, great. Okay, so this is a presentation that I put together in Gamma, and I will make sure that Christy has the link so that she can put it in the description so you guys can work through this on your own. But so this is just a little talk that I put together about using AI to, and Midjourney in particular, to create brand images for our clients and stuff. So I'm going to walk you through a few things. The first thing that I want to show you is I want to tell you a little bit about my journey with AI and how I got turned on to this stuff. So the first place I ever went where I saw AI being used successfully was Evelyn Weiss's site. If you don't know her work, she's like the low ticket membership queen. She's amazing. And she has these like really fun, I won't click on it now, but you can click on it and walk around. She's got some like really fun caricatures of people on her sales pages and stuff. And I could see how it was driving conversions. And this is a real passion of mine, and I'm sure it is of yours too if you're watching this video, because we are more than artists, we are designers, which means we love art, but when that art accomplishes a goal and accomplishes a purpose, that's what we are all about, certainly what I'm all about. So I love AI and the creative. I mean, I love pinup, robot, space girl, chick. I love it. But if it doesn't actually help the bottom line, I'm not as interested in it. So the site that I saw, so after I got kind of introduced into AI, the site that I saw that blew me away was this Drinking with Chicken site. And if you don't know her, she's an influencer that she has chickens. She just has chickens and she fixes fancy cocktails and she goes out in her backyard and she drinks with her chickens. It's really her whole brand. But it's
To pop
amazing.
in, say, I've never seen this site and I love it. Like, what a cool idea. It's,
Isn't it? It's
yeah.
just gorgeous. And I love how she's and the site itself obviously is beautiful. Like the designer, and she's also a brand designer, and she put together this really incredible, very layered, very gorgeous site. And we can see here, obviously, there are illustrations and there's graphics. I mean, look at what she's created here. It's kind of got that nice scrapbooky effect. And we have these beautiful photographs of some of her merch and her with her chickens, and the chicken's house and or hen house. I don't know what it would be called, but so anyway, and so as from a design perspective, you can see the complexity of what was created here. Now, none of this actually is AI. This was all done with a shoot. There was a photography director, the whole thing. Now, I don't know what she spent, but I imagine this was at least a $20,000, $30,000 enterprise. And that may or may not even have included the website itself. But to get these kinds of branded images, that's what it used to take. And I'm sure the shoot was a whole day and there were lots of wardrobe changes. And like, we know, I mean, look how fantastic, like, right? But all of this stuff now can be created with AI and in an afternoon or less. And that's the kind of, this was the site that when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is the new trend. This is where we're headed. So anyway, so with that, I want to show you a little bit of what I've done with it. So I designed one of the first square kickers in the Square Kicker shop. And these are all AI images. And you can see how I built everything and created everything to match. Everything has the same color scheme. It's all got the same tone. I mean, even our fictional writing coach here, she's got like a similar color dress and everything. So all of these images were created with the techniques that I'm going to show you today. And I'll show you one more. So this is a sales page that I did for a joint venture that I did with a friend of mine earlier this year. And you can see all of these images. Of course, this was a mock-up in Canva, but the images that are here were created with AI. So all of this, like how everything matches, how everything's kind of the same tone and style, this is all AI. And the thing about this sort of look is that it's just a little more luxe than trying to pick stock images and put them in Canva or Photoshop and get the tints to match and like all that crap. Like this is it just looks like you had a graphic designer at your beck and call creating a really branded suite of images for you. So, okay.
I think that's what stands out to me about these two is that, like you said, they look so cohesive. It
Yeah.
doesn't look like you had to like pull something from here or something from there. They look like they belong together. And that is such a struggle. And I know we've got at least 3 Squarespace designers joining us who've dropped notes in the chat. So yeah, this is the right place to be to learn about this for sure. So excited.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Okay, great. Awesome. Awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So one of the things I want to draw your attention to as we move through this is if you're new to Midjourney, I have a couple of things here on basics. So I have like some tips and tricks. So like, and a lot of this links to Midjourney's documentation. So this actually links you to Midjourney's Getting Started Guide, which is amazing. And it walks you through how to set up your account and all the different things. So there's just, and this is a list of parameters. This is how you're going to control your prompts. Each one of these controls a different thing about the prompt. So it's good to familiarize yourself with these. But I just wanted to kind of make you guys familiar with that so that you know that you have some resources here for you. I'm not going to spend time going through all this right now. You can, check it out at your leisure. And this is this is just fun stuff to do. You can use these for Midjourney or chat. I just have some fun prompt ideas like, coffee shop on a space station, Mickey Mouse is a cyberpunk detective, like just some fun prompt ideas to kind of help you get familiar with Midjourney and how to use it, or any AI actually. Okay. So let's talk for a quick second about what makes images cohesive and branded. It's more, and you guys are all designers. I know you know this, but this is important for prompting. Just know that it's not just color scheme, it's also subject matter. So like with that sales page, there was like an echo of flowers kind of going through all of the images. Some people like have butterflies, like that's a big part of their brand, or I don't know, sparkly lights, or, the color blue or something, but like maybe blue stripes, maybe pinstripes, but everybody kind of there's some sort of course, I'm getting a phone call right now. So subject matter is one. Two is artistic or photographic style. So is it in the style of street photography or photorealism or an impressionist painting or faded retro photos? It's important to kind of know the style that you're going after. And then on top of that, there's palette, tone, lighting, composition, all those kinds of things too. So when you think about those three things, that's going to be important for prompting, but let's keep moving. Okay. Now, there are a zillion ways to get consistent images with Midjourney. There are at least 4 main ways. I could give a 3-day workshop on each one of these, but today we're just going to talk about mood boards. This is really easy. It's really simple to use. Even a beginner can jump in with mood boards and get really successful really quickly. If you get into mood boards and you're having a lot of fun, but you want more control over the output, I would encourage you to start getting into image references and style references, especially if you use them in conjunction with mood boards. But for today, this is where we're going to start. All of these, again, link to Midjourney source material for each topic, so you can read more if you want to. And let's keep going. Okay. So again, if you're new with Midjourney, I have a beginner's guide to prompt anatomy. So if you don't know much about prompting, generally, the more specific the prompt, the better. A lot of times people will go into Midjourney or any other AI illustration and they just throw in a few words and they usually don't get great output, and that it can be really frustrating. Know that the more specific you are, the better result you're going to get. These are the things I recommend you put in every prompt. So and again, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on these. There's more fun stuff for us to do, but I just want you to know that this is here. So shot type, subject or environment. Usually you either want to talk about the person and kind of where they are and what they're doing, or like maybe there isn't a subject. Maybe you just want an environment shot, but whatever they're up to, lighting and time. This is one of my favorite things. I'm telling you, you want to create images that don't look like everyone else's AI images. Pay attention to these 2 things in particular, lighting and composition. Not having a subject dead center in the middle of the frame really looks better. And I love to play with lighting, golden hour, blue hour, twilight, sparkly lights, mid-level lighting. I go crazy. I do all kinds of stuff. So lighting is really fun to play with. And then colors, textures, artistic style, and emotion, mood. Midjourney 7, in my opinion, it was just released like a few days ago. But it's very good with emotion and mood words. So if you add in some feeling words, you're going to get better prompts. Okay. So there's that there if you want it. But then if you're already kind of familiar, here's just a quick reference guide where I just listed out all the different things that I recommend you put in a prompt. And then a few tips to note. Elements at the start of the prompt will get more weight than elements at the end. So if there's something really important to your image, but it's at the end of your prompt and you don't like the results you're getting, consider moving it to the front. And then I have some other things here. Another good thing to know, well, maybe that's enough for now. Maybe that's enough for now. But you can see gorgeous image, pretty lighting, really cool. But we had a nice big long prompt that we filled it out. Here's a couple of examples of what I mean when I say bigger prompts versus shorter prompts. This glass butterfly on rusted gear, iridescent teal and amber, soft morning light, dreamlike digital art. There's nothing wrong with these images. I mean, that's fine. It's perfectly pretty. It's, it's pretty butterfly. It's glass. It's shimmery. It's a rusted gear. Fine. But when we cut loose with a bit longer prompt, look what happens. Now, all of a sudden, there's depth to the image. Now, all of a sudden, we have a shallow depth of field, and we actually have a background and a midground and a foreground. The wings are suddenly translucent. There's light coming in behind them. We've got a different perspective rather than just looking like flat top down on the top of a butterfly. We're looking to the side. It's just a totally different image. And same with this one. It's just gorgeous compared to the other two. So again, when if you're not happy with the results that you're getting, come back to this reference prompt guide and make sure you're including all the elements that you want. This is another, I really love this example. So the prompt was outdoor product photography for athletic sneakers. This does not look like product photography at all. And these images are just terrible. They're just terrible. This is the same person. This is all the same person and she's wearing the same thing. What's happening? But these are the kind of results that lazy prompting gets you. Now, when I actually went to Claude for help with this, when I actually build out the prompt, now we have product photography. It's gorgeous. It's clear. We've got some depth to the images. So totally different result. Okay. All right. I'm going to keep going. I forget this isn't like a Zoom call. I keep wanting to stop and ask for questions. How are we doing, Christy? Do you have any questions?
It's great. No, so far, the butterfly example was so cool, and just what a great example. And the footwear too, what a great example of how important the prompt is. I loved seeing that difference. And I also didn't know about the ordering within the prompt, that the most important thing should go first. That's a hugely key piece of information.
Yeah.
One question that I had, and you may get into this later, but if someone does come and they have branding, so they have brand colors, can you feed in hex codes and that sort of thing?
No, you can't, which is ridiculous. It would be so nice if you could, but of course you can't. But the way we get around that is we use their logo. So if they have a logo that has their hex codes on it, we can use that. If they don't have a logo, I would take like a picture of the coolers page or whatever, however they showed you their colors, and I would use that to create the mood board. So yeah,
got it.
Good
ways to get around that. Yeah. And people in the chat like, wow, that's so cool, so interesting. So yeah, this is very interesting. So keep rolling.
Awesome. Great. Okay. So here is the process that I've outlined for web designers. And we're going to walk through a few examples with this, and we're going to play around with this. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time going through each step right now because you'll see it in action. But basically, you just want to compile the brand assets, use them to create a mini mood board, use some quick, fast prompts to get more mood board fodder to build out the mood board. Once you do that, then it's time to get strategic with prompts, and you can put in those longer prompts and get some more detailed images and stuff. So, and what is this? I forget what this is. Oh, this is actually how, this is so good too. Oh, you're going to want to make sure you note this. So this is specific prompts to get actual website images, and we'll talk more about this later, but to get wide shots. So like things you can use for backgrounds or hero images or space for text, you're going to want to say backgrounds, textures, patterns. You can actually prompt Midjourney for web banner or hero image, and it does a pretty good job. It knows what that's for. It knows it's supposed to put the subject off to the side and leave like a blank space for text. It's pretty impressive. Graphics, graphic elements, that's how you get these. Close-up and medium shots, these are less about the scenery and more about the subject. This is obviously the suite of images that we're going to be building for clients, right? You want some backgrounds, some textures, you want some close-up and medium shots that either show the product in action. So you want some shots that talk about that advertise the features of the thing they're selling. Or if they're like my clients, like coaches, thought leaders, course creators, you're going to want some close-up shots of like the hands on the keyboard. You just want it to look like your client's hands and your client's computer and your client's branding, or maybe journals or whatever, right? So stock photos, but the close-up images are less about the scenery and more about the subject. They showcase features, and let's see. And then, these really, there's no like secret words to get the prompts. It's just, you're just prompting whatever you're looking for. But the fun stuff is icons and graphics. So to get those like little flowers that you saw on that flowery sort of sales page, how I created a bunch of flower elements and stuff, you would prompt for ping images with no background. Like, I don't know. This is how I got the best results for Midjourney, was ping images. It knows what that is. It knows that you want a transparent background. Now, Midjourney won't do a transparent background, but it'll do a solid white background, which you can ask for that too. But ping images with no background gets me the best isolated images. You can also ask for icons. I don't have pictures of those here, but we'll look at some examples coming up. Outlines, line drawings, hand-drawn doodles, paper cut styles. Again, this is where we're getting into that stuff that we saw on the Drinking with Chicken site, right? This is how we can develop all of the different images that we'll use to build out a really stellar web design. And then I have tips. And then this is particularly, if you've seen my site, so I'm in love with this blurry trend that's happening right now. I think if you go to my services page, you'll see a ton. I love this like blurry double exposure. Like, I don't know, this is just my thing right now. And so these are the prompts that I use. Oops, where are we? These are the prompts. Nope. Yeah, that I use specifically to get those blurry abstract shapes, disposable camera shot, slightly shaky, motion cutoff, pinhole camera, panning. Yeah, all that kind of fun stuff gets you all those really cool, trendy images. So I'm giving you all the tricks today. Okay. First example, I've got 3 of these. We're going to walk through and then we're going to do some stuff live. So first one. So this is just a logo that I got off of Canva, this Julia Bakery, literally straight off of Canva. And then I just pulled these 3 images. So let's assume a client comes to us. This is all they have. They have a couple of images of their products and a couple of different logos. They don't have a store, so they can't take pictures of their store. Is that you?
It is. So, really quickly, do you have the slide link that you can drop in the chat?
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't have it, but I know you do.
I do, as a matter of fact. So let's say copy link.
Thank you.
Done. Yes, totally.
And then as we're transitioning to these client examples, I'm really curious about how you talk with your clients about using AI for images, because I know like we're in this world where people can be very anti-AI. Is it something that you bring up in the discovery process, or how do you go about that?
My clients almost always know that I'm very much into AI. It's all over my social media and everything. I'm giving tips and stuff all the time. So I don't really get anybody in my realm who's like not interested in AI or who's scared of it. But I'm very upfront. I do have in my contract that I will, that I use AI images. I have a lot of things in my contract around AI. Actually, I say in my contract that I use an AI note taker. I say that because I use Fathom. Yeah. And if I say all of our meetings will be recorded, and if you don't want to be recorded, I ask for a $150 administrative fee because I have to take different notes and stuff if they don't want the AI to record them. So so I use, and of course there's a whole different thing if they want an AI photo shoot. There's like a whole, because then I have to get them to agree to let me submit their likeness in the AI to the AI. But for this stuff, I just let them know that I use AI to create their imagery.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you. And then one other question kind of adjacent to that is, So Midjourney, you can use all the things that you're creating for commercial use. Like that's totally fine.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And you own the license for them, at least for right now. The law
Okay.
is changing
Oh yeah.
moment by moment. But as of right now, you own for whatever that's worth, own the
Mhm.
images that you create with your prompts.
Mhm.
So you've got commercial license for them. And I do say in
Awesome.
my contract too that I also grant them license to use the images I give them however they want.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
I'll let you take it away for Julia.
Okay, cool. Yes. Okay. So let's assume she does catering. So she just works in a commercial kitchen, but she likes the idea of having like a quaint little French bakery like downtown or something. Like that's the kind of image she wants to promote, right? That she's cute and fun and fancy. Okay. So we have these images and I actually used this one too, but it didn't upload here for some reason. But anyway, these are the images she gave us. This is all we have to work with. So I go into Midjourney and I create the mood board. I'll show you how when we get there, but just so that you can see the results. This is what we use to create the initial mood board. Now I use really simple, fast prompts, just textures, backgrounds, icons, decorative elements. I'm just trying to get more mood board fodder, right? And so looking at these, I really like this. This kind of looks like fondant and it's the exact colors I want. I don't know what Midjourney was thinking with this. Don't like this. I really like this one. This looks kind of bakery-like. And I think on this one, I picked this one here. I liked a couple of these too, so that I pulled out. But anyway, another trick is if you just want to see what the mood board will do without any prompt at all, you can just put two quotes back to back and it'll just create whatever it thinks you want. And apparently it thought I wanted like a cozy cat on a windowsill, which I'm done with that. That's fine. So, okay. So with those images, I created a much more filled out mood board. I picked the images that I wanted, and I think I probably had maybe another 4 or 5 more at the bottom here. But then I got strategic with the prompt. And the prompt I used, I'll read it here just so you can hear it if for some reason somebody's not watching, they're listening. I'm a web designer building a website for a new client. She's a bakery owner that specializes in quaint and intricately decorated cupcakes and cakes for special events. I need to create a full suite of images for her in Midjourney, including background images, icons, stock photo images, and anything else you think might be relevant. Give me a complete list of image ideas that I could create for her that would create a compelling website that would entice people to hire her to cater their special event. And then Claude gave me a huge list, and I use Claude, but you can use chat if that's your favorite, doesn't matter. Claude gave me a whole list of like 30 different prompts that it thought I should use. I picked my 5 or 6 favorites and just copy and pasted them in here. So you can see this was the first one. A pristine white marble countertop with subtle veining, dusted with a light layer of flour, natural window light coming in from the left. It just paints this picture. Now, this one doesn't have any flour on the on the counter, but I don't care. It's gorgeous. It's perfect. It's exactly her vibe, right? And then check out these cakes. Look what it made. It's amazing. And look at this. Look at this. Beautiful, right? Now, in terms of this image, I don't actually know that this is anything a baker would actually be doing. You always have to look at the accuracy of what the AI is creating, but maybe I could still use parts of the image. But anyway, it's still helpful. Icons made of frosting. What? Are you kidding me? And this was just me playing around. Because I really liked these results so much that I was like, let's just get more things. And so, I mean, these would just be beautiful images on a website. So you get the vibe, right? You're seeing it and making it happen. I'm just going to assume yes, and I'm going to keep going. So let's look at another example. So this is Greta Skin Salon and Spa, and she only had a logo and then a picture of the inside of her spa, and then this picture that she pulled off of Canva. Now she specializes, obviously these are all fictional, right? But she specializes in being a place where mothers and daughters go to get their nails done and have a fun girls' day out. So again, we just have these 3 images. So that's what we're going to put on the mood board, and we're going to get our mood board fodder. I put in backgrounds and it gave me some kind of creepy things. That's fine. Midjourney doing your thing. All right. Icons, abstract textures. We're getting some really fun images, right? Okay. Okay, cool. So now we picked our favorites, and from there, we created this mood board, and I got these results. So kind of a fun background, fun mother-daughter day, some interesting close-ups. Okay, so we got some neat photos. Now here's the thing to notice about this. These are great. There's nothing wrong with them, but they read a little hot. Can you imagine creating a website that was just these? Let's assume that we use those photos for the client, and then the client's like, "What? That looks like Barbie." No, my salon is warm and friendly. It's a nice day out, not a glam session for prom. And also I love lavender, because we know how clients love to throw new information at us at the last moment. Fine, no, not a problem. All we need to do is adjust the images to tone down the mood board's influence and create a more realistic set of images that convey more of a friendly, casual vibe. So the way we do that is we assign a stylization code. This is how we control the weight. And again, we'll walk through it, but this is how you control the weight of the mood board, and it's --S. And the scale runs from 1 to 1,000. The default is 100. So these images are with that mood board influence set at 100. The sweet spot I have found to get enough influence that doesn't really overpower the images is 15 to 20. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to set the stylized to 15 to 20. We're also going to use all the same prompts, but we're going to throw in the word lavender because the client said that. Now we're getting these kinds of images. Very, very different. Very, very different, right? Now, less AI, because this looks very AI. It's a gorgeous photo, but it's very AI. We've got the plastic skin. We've got perfect eyelashes. Now we've got a more realistic looking photo, way more realistic. And I mean, this one's arguably not fantastic, but you can at least see kind of where we're going with it. Okay, so one more example, and then we'll do some live. We'll get on there and do some live stuff. So let's assume it's a very busy realtor in Colorado, and he gave us his logo and said, just do stuff, just get it done. I don't care, just go for it. And we are magical and amazing at what we do. We don't need every single piece of content from a client. So we say we are up for the challenge. And we've also taken Diane's fabulous Midjourney workshop. So we're down, fine. So we use that, create a mood board. Even though it's just one image, do not use it as a reference image. Using reference images is really a different thing. It's trickier and it involves a little bit more finesse. So just go ahead and create a mood board with the one image. And then same thing, we're going to prompt for fodder, decorative elements. Now, because we only have one image, I want to give, rather than just do like a 1-word prompt, I just gave a little bit more background. So residential real estate business website, right? Graphics for a residential real estate business website, stock photos, backgrounds, blah, 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 whatever. Now I've got enough to build out a more complete mood board. And now we start to get images like this. Again, fantastic. They do read a little hot. So let's take them down a notch. So with the stylization set to 15, we get, and this doesn't, I mean, this actually kind of does look like Colorado, maybe not the mountains so much, but you know, it's very, Midjourney didn't know how to get just the blue and just the orange, but over here, we've got the blue and the orange, but we've got a little bit more sunsetty colors. Again, we have orange houses here, but with the stylization lowered, we still have orange, but it's actually where it makes sense. And again, this is one of my favorite ones, right? Like very orange, looks like a Florida Gators house. And over here, we actually have like, you know, it's the same tones. It's the orange and the blue tones, but it's just taken down a few notches. And here's the thing, because you might be looking at these and saying to yourself, but these just look like stock photos. Like they don't look like they're branded at all. But if you look at them all together on a site, like, you know, the struggle of this, it's what Christy was talking about earlier, right? When you pull different photos from different photo shoots, it's one of the reasons I used to love Pexels, still love Pexels, because you can find images that are all from the same photo shoot.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And they have the same lighting and the same tone. They were taken with the same camera. They've got basically the same subject matter. There's always that same tree in the background, you know, like it's got that cohesive feel that you can't get if you're pulling images from different stock photo things. This is what that gets you. It's subtle, but they all will match. They
go together. Yeah.
They all will work. And especially if you're giving graphics to a client for like a what do I want to say? Like social media, like graphics to go for their social media feed or whatever, it really makes a difference because they can see how everything works together. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So cool. I know you're about to talk about when to skip it and then show us like some live stuff, but I think this would be a great place. Like if you're joining us live and you have a question, feel free to drop it in the chat. And Diane, you can answer them now or at the end, and I can star them and show them as they come in.
Totally.
While we're waiting to see if there are any questions now, I was really curious about why you chose to work with Midjourney and how that's different from maybe Adobe Firefly or OpenAI.
Those two in particular, in my opinion, don't compare to Midjourney. Midjourney,
Okay.
it's way more. There's so much you can do with it. I even really like it for this work in particular. There really isn't anybody else that compares, in my opinion. The new chat image creator is very, very good. It really is. But I still haven't seen a way to do exactly this, create like
Mhm,
branded images that all match.
mhm.
And Midjourney is so creative. It's so artistic. You have so much control over the kinds of images that you create. I
Mhm.
use Kriya's Flux a lot, and it's great too, but it just doesn't have the flexibility or adaptability that Midjourney does, in my opinion. So
Gotcha. Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, I think we all want to just know what the best option is instead of having to compare them all ourselves. So
yeah,
I appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So Barb had a question. If your
yeah.
initial mood board comes back completely off, do you
Mhm.
start over with a new brand prompt or do you just build off the original and change a few things up?
I would just build off the original and change a few things up. Yeah. Yeah. Because you'll see too, we'll play with it. You'll see that sometimes you'll start creating images and you're like, where is that red coming from? Why is there always some weird spot or stripe or some random guy in the background in a red shirt? Why is there red in every image? Because I had that literally with my mood board. And when I went back in, there was like one image that had like a lot of tail lights because I do a lot of like city urban
Ah,
images because I live in
uh-huh.
Chicago. And there was one image that I thought was so cool and perfect, but from a color standpoint, it had all these tail lights for the traffic in it. And I was like, oh, that's got to go. And as soon as I took it off the mood board, all my images like cleaned up. No more random red stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I
All
would
right.
always work with what you have, probably. I've never had to start over with one.
Awesome. That's the only question we have so far, so I'll hide myself and let you continue on. This is so good.
Yay. Okay, good, good. Okay, so really quick, a couple notes. Well, actually, you know what? Instead of let's finish up with these. Let's actually go right into Midjourney. So let's go hunting. So I didn't get an image. If you have an image you want me to start with, let me know, Christy. I'm very happy if you guys have a logo or something that you want me to start with. But usually I love to go into
Yeah,
the Explore in Midjourney. Oh my gosh, look at these.
perfect. Oh my
Look at the stuff.
goodness.
Right? Look at the stuff people are creating. Like this is such a fun retro vibe. Okay, so if we click on the prompt, it'll immediately put the prompt here, and then we can go ahead. Funny. Let's just go ahead and just run that. Oh, I think I actually have a mood board on. Hang a second. Yeah, it's gonna run that. I literally just taught this workshop like 2 hours ago. Well, let's look at it. Let's look at it. So I created a mood board for a client of mine. Her name is Vivica von Rosen, and this is her. This is her brand. So this is her. These are her logos. These are the four things I started with. And so I ran a whole bunch of images, and then I got these images. Look at the fun icons and background. She's getting ready to teach a retreat in Costa Rica. So we created some fun beach images. And so now I've got this really fun, vibrant thing. And so it created a whole bunch so we just created a whole suite of images with that. So I'm sure it created. So this is the retro vibe with Vivica's mood board turned on. I mean, that's fun. There's nothing wrong with that. How funny. Okay. All right, so let's go back. And so I turned it off. Let's turn it back on again and let's just turn hers off. You can see mine. Let me show you mine too. So this is my mood board. So this is where I get all those lovely, like fun, blurry, like city. We're busy and we're rushing in the city, like urban, like kind of scapes. I love those. So
I love
um
that too. The lighting there is so cool. We had another question.
yeah.
Can you download a whole mood board at once, or how does that work?
I don't they just updated this and it looks a little different than it used to. I don't think you can, but what you can do is if you go into create you can create a folder, and you can say a new folder group, and you can say Christy's workshop. And so is that, oh, that's a new folder group. Oh, let's just create the Christy. Okay, and so now we've got a folder, and so now we can drop images in here, or we can create images in here. What did I do? Personalization is on, hers is still on. Let's go ahead and create a mood board and create some fun.
Perfect. Barb was asking, where do you find the mood board? So you can walk us through.
Yeah, sure. So if you go down here to personalize and then make sure it's turned on, and we're going to say, and we want to use version 7, and we're going to say, create a mood board and then add from gallery. And this is where we're going to get, let me see what else I can, let me see if there's anything in here. I've had some fun lately. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so we'll say maybe that is something. Oh, these are some of the images I created for that thing. So let's assume maybe these are all, maybe some blue flowers and maybe some city images. And these are all the images I used to create the thing. I think we can pull, I wonder if we can pull from Explore too. I mean, look at all these. These were so fun. I mean, just randomly, if you're interested in seeing. Midjourney struggles. Midjourney doesn't know what a wrench is. So we had to create a lot of imagery for what a wrench is. Okay, all right. So let's go back. Okay, so we've got some fun images there. They're kind of pastel-y, but that's all right. Let's say you can also add from link. So we could go into Explore. And so all of these images are live on the web. Look how pretty that is. That's interesting. How do we find, copy image URL? So we could go back into that mood board and say add from link and add that, and it'll add it in. So anyway, so you guys get the idea. So anyway, so let's assume that this is the mood board we're starting with. It's a little not too cohesive, but that's fine because we're just going to go into create. Oops, let me make sure it's on, personalization on, and select. And now you can select more than one mood board at once. So we could mix and match, which can kind of create some interesting results. But let's turn Vivica's off and make sure the one we just created is on. And we're going to go into create. And now everything we create is going to have that mood board's influence. So let's just say graphics, icons, backgrounds, textures, stock photos. Okay, so the point here is we're just trying to get some things to build out the mood board so that we get the style and like kind of cohesive quality that we want. Look at the icons, it's so much fun. Okay, I kind of love that. Interesting. Okay, this is going to give us enough. Okay, so let's go back into personalize. We're going to go back into the mood board and we're going to add from gallery and we're going to add some of those images that we just created. Now, look at this. Nothing wrong with that. That's fun. I like these icons. I like this, but it's probably going to make things really vibrant. I'm not sure. I'm thinking let's go a little more subtle and shaded. Now, one of the things I'm noticing is that a lot of these images, because of what we had, a lot of these have an illustrated quality. That means that by and large, when we create people, if people come out in our images, they're going to have that plastic skin look. So they're going to look like they were created by AI, which is fine. But it's just one thing to note. If I'm looking to create a mood board of people, like a stock images of people, like I did a series of images recently for an estate lawyer, and she wanted a lot of images of like families, like multi-generational families, like gathered around the kitchen table or working at a desk or whatever. I created a separate mood board that was just of people, and all the images in the mood board were hyper photorealistic, super detailed, nothing illustrated. So anyway, food for thought. So let's pick some blue and like a pretty green one, and maybe this one too, because why not? Oh, and some painting. Okay, we like all those. So we'll just see what that does. Okay, so all those are in the mood board. Let's hit back. We're going to have some interesting orange and blue and beige, which is going to be fun. Okay. Okay, so now let's say we have the mood board the way we want it. We want to create some very exceptional prompts that we can work with. And so I like to go to Claude. Write a Midjourney, now we could ask for, if we're doing the whole process, okay, let's do the whole process. Who's our business owner? Our business owner with this like kind of natural palette. Maybe she's a dietitian. Sarah, I am a web designer creating images for a client. Her name is Sarah Connor, and she is a fierce dietitian who focuses on natural eating, clean eating, and works with clients who want to live a healthier lifestyle, and works with athletic clients who want to live a healthier lifestyle in a post-apocalyptic world. Sarah Connor is the main character from Terminator.
I love this. Yes, I got it.
In case anyone's missing my reference.
No, I'm imagining the pull-ups in the prison cell.
I mean, aren't we all?
Yeah.
Aren't we all, right? Okay.
So while we're getting that prompt, HR was asking if Midjourney can generate GIFs or stock video.
Not GIFs, but stock video for sure.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But you can use the images, and so you can use the images. You can take the images Midjourney gives you and put them into like Runway or another AI video maker, and you can create some really cool videos from it. Stock images. This is like actually the next level up from this process is using AI video to create B-roll.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And Barb says this would be perfect for creating templates, which I know you've done for your Square Kicker templates. So
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's perfect for templates, right?
Yeah.
And social media presence. Okay. So Claude's going to give us a list of prompts, and we're just going to pick the ones that we like. So for a website header images, Sarah in a modern kitchen surrounded by, okay, a clean minimalist workspace. Okay, let's just run with this. Oops. And so we're going to say, write me a detailed prompt for this one. Okay, and it's going to do its thing. And we're going to pick out a couple more here. Sarah demonstrating proper food preparation, before, after, quick editorial. If I'd followed my, I don't like having Sarah in all of these. I really wanted more stock photo-y kind of things. And again, for this one, okay. And let's pick one more. Some of these are funny.
I'm just imagining like the Terminator showing up everywhere now. So
Not right.
And Caitlin got that reference earlier too. So
okay, good. Okay, and I'm really intrigued by this one, so we're gonna see what it does with that. Okay, so now let's look at where are all my, oh, come on, Claude. Do a better job. Come on, give me a break. Write me a detailed Midjourney prompt for this image. You got to tell it exactly what to do, man.
We were distracting you.
I know. I'm too excited by my reference. I want to grab this one. I'm really intrigued by this one too. I haven't used Midjourney to create a lot of like graphics and stuff. Perfect. Let's
I love this process because even though you know exactly how to go about this, you still are, the way you're engaging with it is like you're playing with it. So, you know,
Yes.
you're playing to figure out what you'll get. It's always going to be a surprise. Although, you know, like if there are tail lights, there's going to be red. So it's, this whole process is just so cool.
Right? Yes, definitely. Oh, it's putting some weird things in there. That's fine. Let's just submit it as is and see what it's doing. Okay, and so then we've got this one that it gave us. I don't really like all that either. We're gonna put this in there. And then let's grab one more. What was the third one? Close up of a balanced meal with a simple overlay explaining, oh, it's not going to do well with that. It's not great with text. It has a really hard time determining text. Okay, so you guys get the idea. We could have done a better job at that, but you guys get the idea. Okay, and so these are the results we're getting. I mean, hello, how you doing? This is fantastic. Okay. Overhead view, professional food photography. I mean, some of these are just like, that's really, really super fun. So let's do some more. Let's say, so now that we've determined she's a dietitian, let's just play for a second. Nutrition, healthy food, healthy meal. Write me a prompt for a healthy meal in the foreground. I don't even know what I want to say. Come on, do my thinking for me, Claude. Vibrant environment in the background. Write me a Midjourney prompt for an image of. And obviously, I mean, you can kind of see where the work comes in here because it's quick, it's creating amazing images, but this takes a lot of time and effort and focus. If I were really doing this for a client, I would be spending a lot more time really working with Claude to get a good idea of all the cohesive prompts that I would ask for, all the images, like the image suite that I'm trying to create, and then really examining each prompt, and is this really what I want, and does it work, and whatever. Okay, so again, we're starting to see, I just put healthy food, and we just have a bowl of hearts with weird things in them. Not quite sure what those two are, but the rest is kind of fun.
It's like
Okay.
massive strawberries. I don't know.
Right, shoved into bowls. We don't know.
I am loving the variety that you get here. It's like some of these I'm like, oh, that's so good. And some of them I'm like, that's so weird. It's just like, this is so much fun.
Yes, totally. And see, like this one, we've got a weird fork. We don't know what's happening with the fork. Now, sometimes I will say, so one of the tricks with Midjourney is that when you get like a person with like 6 fingers, or like, the weird, sometimes it does like moosh face, and sometimes it does strange things. If you go to upscale creative, sometimes it will fix those problems automatically on its own. But I mean, some of these are perfect. That's gorgeous. There's nothing wrong with that. Look at that lighting. That's beautiful. I mean, we don't know what's happening here. We've got a fork, knife, spoon situation, but nothing wrong with that. And these all look cohesive. Again, you can tell how it's really picking up on the blue in the background. We obviously had some pictures that were a little faded, and we had some that weren't. And so it's kind of struggling. It's like, what do you want? I'm not sure. So we could go back and clean up the mood board and make the images a little more cohesive. But even these as is, we've got a suite of images that we can use.
Yeah, I mean, there are certainly completely usable ones there, in addition to the weird fork ones, but
Right.
and giant strawberries. Barb
Right.
was wondering about why you're not copying the last part of the Claude prompts with the numbers.
I'm not sure. So this prompt in particular, the double quotes, it's saying to weigh this 4 times as much as the rest, which I don't know why. Well, I mean, I guess that would make sense, appetizing presentation, but I mean, just put it first. What are you doing, Claude? And then I don't really care much. So AR is the aspect ratio. And I just wanted it to do whatever the default was. This is actually, well, let's take a look. Actually, oh, look, I said ping images of bananas. Look what it made. Look what it made. I mean, that's just so cool. I mean, can you just see like as like a background behind like some, where she's describing her services or something? I mean, that's just too cool. So stylize is actually how we control the weight. That's what I was saying earlier. So if we wanted to make these a little, and this isn't gonna translate as much because our mood board is so varied. The images that it's creating are not what do I want to say, like monotone. Let's get rid of some of these that are varied. How about we just like get dark? Dark, dark, dark. Better. Let's get rid of this too. Okay, so now let's try some of these again. So let's say food, healthy food. Are we making them? Yeah, we are. Ping image of a banana. Healthy. Well, we did a lot of those. Place setting at a table. Okay, so now let's see how these look. Okay, so these now are dark, dark, dark. They're really being influenced by that mood board. And I took all the bright, like airy images out and some of the vibrant images, and we're just getting like super dark images. I'm interested to see what it's going to do. Even the ping image of the banana, it's like, where do I put the black? Where do I put the black and gray and brown? I don't understand. I don't know what to do. Okay. So again, it's got that hot quality, that hot element. And so instead of using S950, which is going to make it, well, let's use S950. Let's see. Let's say, okay, so let's say banana. So remember the default is 100. So that's what these are, that mood board at 100. So let's say ping image of a banana. I know we've got 3 minutes left. Well, this will be one of the last things we do. And then we're going to say stylize. We're going to say let's say 800. I just don't know what it's going to do. And then we're going to say, what are some of the other ones I said? Food, healthy food. We're going to say healthy food, S800. Okay, and so then let's do them again. Ping image of a banana, and we're going to put it at 15. Remember I was saying, or 20. Let's put it at 20. And that's the magic number, stylized 20, to get things not too overwhelming. And we're going to say healthy food at S20. And we're going to see how those look. Oh, that's not insane. Oh, that's not crazy. So the images we used were pretty illustration heavy. So it was like, okay, so you really want this to be an illustration. So let's go back and look at the personalization and see what kind of sense it makes. Yeah. So illustration, blurred, very illustration, actual real photograph, but I can see where they were going, and that's an illustration too. So that's why we're getting these. And then I said 800, again, just kind of dark, kind of rich, smoky, not bad. But when I took it down, so when I took it from 800 to 20, it's adhering more to the prompt. You would see more of this if we had a more descriptive prompt. You would see the prompt coming through a little bit more. But again, we've lost that. I mean, these still all match, but we've lost that dark kind of moody quality.
That is so cool. And I dropped a link to your slides from earlier because I know you go through what each of those abbreviations means. And
Yes, there's a whole thing in there. And if we have another 60 seconds, if you guys don't mind, I want to draw your attention to 2 more things really quickly. So if we go back to the slides, so I have a little thing here on when to skip AI in design. And it's just important to know as a designer, some things just AI won't work for. Sometimes you need actual physical, real photographs of the thing. Like if it's a restaurant and they're, restaurants are famous for their food. So it needs to be the food people are actually eating, the environment they're actually in, those kinds of things. Unless maybe it's a restaurant that like changes its menu all the time, then you can maybe get away with it. But obviously you guys probably get the thing there that I'm saying. Because I've spent so much time doing portraits for clients, I have some general tips for portraits. I'll let you guys just look through these. There are just some quick little tips and tricks that you can use that'll get you better results with portraits. So rather than, work through all that, I wanted to give you some tips. And then just a note on bias. The thing to remember about AI is that it doesn't give you average results. It gives you the most probable results. And it's basing that probability based on 100 years of media, which includes all of the last 100 years of bias. So pretty much if you asked Midjourney for a woman, you're going to get a skinny 20-year-old white woman. So because those are the pictures that we have. So when you start to go outside that norm, if you want a woman who's got like a curvy body shape, like most of us are, or if you want a woman of color, or if you want an older woman, you've got to start getting really creative with your prompts. I find that if I ask for women that are like my age or like my clients' ages, like if I say 50-something woman, sometimes a lot of times I'll get a woman that looks 80. And like, you know, if you prompt for a woman who's 30, you get a woman who looks like she's 21. So you will have those kinds of things, but just remember it's drawing from all of the media that we've had in the last like however long. So that's what you're working against.
I always think of it too, like it's not really thinking, it's mathing.
It's mathing.
It's just doing math. Yeah, it's mathing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. And if you guys enjoyed today, I would love if you like and subscribe on my YouTube channel too. And I have, I'm on LinkedIn. If you would leave a recommendation on my LinkedIn, connect on LinkedIn, I would love that. That would be awesome and amazing.
Diane, this was incredibly helpful. I've got one last question. I know we're a little past time, but just really quickly, with the Midjourney work you were doing, is that how much of that can people do with a free account, or do they really need a paid account on Midjourney?
Midjourney doesn't even offer free accounts anymore.
Ah, okay.
The baseline account is $10 a month. So, but in my opinion, it's my favorite one. You can try some of these techniques, the prompting and stuff, and the like some of the experimenting. I would encourage you to try it with a free version and like get your feet wet. But it's like the difference between the free version and the paid version of like Claude or Chat. The difference is like it's night and day. Like don't if you're working with one of the free image generators and you're frustrated, just spend the $10 just for one afternoon of play. Get out my cheat sheet and work your way through it. You'll have a blast and you'll create so much content. It'll be so worth your while.
This was incredible, Diane. Thanks so much.
Yes,
and do you want to drop in the chat? Do you want to drop your LinkedIn so people can connect with you there?
Oh yeah, that's such a great idea. Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you so much for having me, Christy. This was so much fun. I had a blast. I'm so passionate about this stuff, and I know it's such a resource for web designers, so I'm so happy to share it.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody.